our department.
Yeah.
Intaj will surely know Professor Sunil ma'am. No,
Yeah, I know her. I've seen her
Yes.
many times.
so Intaj is there. So we have a couple of
I think
guys there.
we can recognize her, but we are older now, no, so she cannot recognize us. Maybe.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, Dr. Imtiaz. That's right. You're spot on. Yes.
Yeah. So I request Nigel.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, start Trevor.
Hear you.
Start. Okay.
Okay. Can I start?
Oh, start.
Okay, we are going for another CSO academic conference. So part of World Folklore Day conference, we name it as Folklore Matters. And first day with the introduction, not only the introduction, some of the paper presentation of there and uh, uh, the other section of the picturizing ritual by the Gireesh Gopinathan. The exhibition for the starting from today, and it will be also only 1 week up to 28. And following second day, we have the huge panel of discussion and the keynote address by the Joly from the Ahmedabad University, and the scholars from the various part of India. Various part of India, and following second area, another presentation also be there, and third we have the uh, folklore celebration and the keynote by uh, Professor A.K. Nambiar and the offline interaction with the uh, um, our guest with the Dr. Kala Ranga and Srinivas Danchanala and the Purna Surabhi Purna Chandra Rao. Okay, I welcome everyone as a part of Center for Folk Culture Studies and the Center for Folklore Studies and Research in the Kolkata. We are arranging this program. Okay, I hand over to Joly sir.
Thank you, Nigel. Thank you. I hope I'm audible. First
Yes.
of all, I would like to welcome all of you, especially welcome Dean School of Social Sciences, Sundaramani ma'am. In fact, I was really thinking of making you to inaugurate the function, but I had an apprehension that on the online very few people come and it will be an embarrassing. That is the reason. So I have entrusted that particular thing to Imtiaz Ali itself. So that is the reason I really wanted to open it up and tell you. But we are having a show today. Gireesh Gopinath has come a little late, so we will be arranging the show of our, his own photographic prints from spanning 35 years of career, which covers multiple kinds of rituals in the everyday life and the sacred world, with a focus on how women, focus with the women, how women plays a role in the rituals, be it domestic, familial, public, uh, or cosmic, or whatever it is. So that's the way he has encapsulated so many interesting pictures. So that will be there. Anyway, I welcome the uh, CFSR team who are definitely behind the pillar of making this thing happening, because what exactly happened? Otherwise, we will not be able to venture in to such kind of a thing. And we, interestingly, CFCS and CFSR is merging the students who were part of our mentorship program to present the program, our internship program to present their work, along with a set of scholars from different parts of India who will be reflecting, as Nijil said, Professor Maulik Kaushal to Professor Eki Nambiar to Denchanala Srinivas to Kalaranga to many, many people. We have one day tomorrow engrossing session where Himanshi Tyagi will be, chairing. It has Arunima Chetia, Pooja Negi, Rusha Bose, Rosemarin, Nimita, KP, and Ashita. So it's a larger bunch of people. We'll be talking about how gender matters when it comes to folk culture studies, or when it comes to folklore, or when it comes to any kinds of cultural studies. Really, I always think, what is the purpose in celebrating a World Folklore Day? Is there is a purpose? Do folklore need a particular day? For a folklorist, every day is something which is doing. Every day it's a part of remembering certain things. Every day it's a part of bringing in something which is from the past. And every day, if you really closely look at your own conversations, you can find out some part of the laws, be it a riddle, be it a proverb, be it a metaphor, be it an anecdote, something skews into your everyday conversation. So in our sayings, in our doings, in our beliefs, in our practices, we live in a world where there is, quite a lot of folklore, elements of folklore is always present. So that makes every time the folklorist happy. So every day it is there, then why there is a specific day, a World Folklore Day? But when folklore as a discipline started institutionalizing, these specific days of World Folklore Day gives us a relief of time, a time to celebrate, a time to ritualize, a time to commemorate, a time to share with the people, share with the folks. So we are taking it as in a very positive sense. It is a time for us to collaborate with Intaj Ali's team, and I'm sure that it is in a multiple way. It is happening. We have performances, dance by creative choreography by Gopika Mohan. We have a folk music expressions by Dhruvananda Roy. We have also a kind of a meta storytelling where two of our students, not our students, students from the English department, is trying to tell the story, the narrative pieces of Theyyam as part of their own life story. It's a kind of a meta theatrical, meta storytelling kind of an event. So we engulf our photographic exhibition, our performances, and our presenters cutting across from different parts of Kerala to India to Assam to many places. We cut across. So that I think this event will become going to be an engrossing event for all of us, and it will definitely gives us some kind of experiences and opens up vistas of knowledge for us to how to do things, how not to do. Folklore always teaches what to do and what not to do. So it has a social function. It also has a pedagogic functions to teach. So I really thank Intaj and team for supporting. I really thank all of you who are heartily present here. I really thank the curators of the show, Sharon and Avani, who is going to curate the show, the picturing rituals. And I'm wholeheartedly inviting you, whoever is there in the university, please do come there is a slideshow going to be here by Gireesh Gopinath, which cut across 150 slides, which he has captured in his long career with India Today, Outlook as a freelance photographer, Life Positives, his 3 decades of work. So it will be an amazing experience of, experiencing folklore, experiencing rituals. So thank you so much. And I invite Dr. MD Imtiaz Ali to inaugurate and
No, sir.
talk about us.
I
Yeah.
I think we can request Sunita ma'am because ma'am is there. So
Suppose.
I can make myself a little bit outsider for this. So it's better
So,
to
ma'am, I will
ma'am,
ask,
please.
ma'am, please kindly couple of words that will become a bliss. Are you there, ma'am?
I'm there, Professor Joly, but I think Dr. Imtiaz should be inaugurating.
No, no, I'll give my comments, but it's better if you inaugurate this session. It will be blessing for us, for the center, and for university CFCS also. So, being a dean, it's our request. Maybe with your busy schedule, you have joined. So, it is our humble request, please, ma'am.
That's so nice
And
of you. Sure, sure. That's so nice of you. Sure. Sure. This is a great opportunity for me to inaugurate. Uh, dear Professor Joly and other colleagues, both the collaborating centers and the participants, a very good afternoon to all of you. And the topic of this event is really very, very thoughtful and thought-provoking. The connections, the interconnectedness between the lore, the folklore, and gender, and how these two are interconnected, how they represent each other. I think it really takes us to an intense discussion, intense discourse related to identity and people's traditions, people's expressions, articulations, not just the written, but the oral, which is a very, very rich resource of not just the present, but also of the past. A very rich, and those stories that we do not get to hear or we do not get to read in all the archival material, in all the contemporary publications, we get to hear from people's stories and songs. So this, and particularly this collaboration, I'm sure, I wish it will be a long-term collaboration. It will continue in future as well. That way it can really enrich the resource, enrich the research in the area of folk culture studies. And have seen the program, the detailed program, a very impressive program. Really, congratulations to both the centers for putting up this very interesting and thought-provoking kind of a program. I'm very happy to be here in the inaugural session. I'll attend as many sessions as possible, online as well as offline. And I hereby take this opportunity to welcome all the resource persons and the participants. And once again, congratulations to our Center for Folk Culture Studies.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, ma'am. Thank you. Sorry that I officially never invited you.
No,
So,
no problem. We are colleagues, and Folk Culture Studies is part of the school. So
thank you
please
so
don't,
much.
please
Thank you
don't.
so much. I now thank on behalf of both the centers. I'm thanking Dean ma'am, Professor Sunita ma'am, for giving us an impromptu introduction and nice comments. Thank you so much. I'll invite Imtiaz Ali to explain what CFSR is doing in making the folklore more uh, public and more reachable and more young and energetic. So I request him to talk.
Thank you, our dean ma'am, Sunita ma'am, because we used to know her for a long back. I mean, thank you, Professor Joly sir, because he's also my teacher. And as I said in the beginning, also in other programs also. So Center for Folklore Studies and Research, that it's a kind of society and trust that we have built in Bengal in two districts. We have two offices, like one in our library where we have collected 7,000 books already, and one from registered office at Murshidabad. So it's very easier for us to access in district level. And why we have done this center, the reason is very frank, because most of the time, you cannot do whatever you want from the institution level. There are some problems, some kinds of hierarchical level, and some kind of, you need a lot of permission and all. And for that matter, we thought of making a kind of independent, center who can do better job in terms of field as well as a discipline, because in folklore we know it, there are two kinds of things, like when you try to help the artist, try to promote the artist from the academic level, it's very difficult for us to give some fund to them to help them. So that is not possible for being an academician from an institute. So we thought there is a gap, and that gap is missing, and that gap we thought of making it like a mixture of two things, like academic and non-academic. Even NEP, like that, most of us know the National Education Policy, they also give emphasize, some of the emphasize on bringing these folk artists culture as a knowledge system. So this is the reason that I think we are growing, and we are trying to work from the district level. We have MUs with 20 colleges in different districts of Bengal, from Coach Bihar, Jalpaiguri, Birbhum, Bankura, Purulia, and Murshidabad, and other part of the district as well, like Bardhaman, Paschim Bardhaman. So in this way, we are expanding the discipline. Expanding the discipline, we are also teaching the college students about culture, about folk. They might not heard the discipline like folklore studies. So this is the first time they are introduced with the discipline, but they know their own culture, because and when this the term like why gender matters, why folklore matters, if you look at the performance from different songs, especially in Bhavaya music, they are talking about mostly the pain, suffering of a woman, right? So this is the reason that we try to talk about this, in this day, about why gender matters. But not only the gender matters, the geography is also matters, right? Because folk is also based on geography, its language, its culture, its heritage, its religion. And religion is not as the mainstream religion, the religion, the belief, the rituals. So it's always different from a different district and different language, different region. So in terms of when you're talking about World Folklore Day, so it's very nice to celebrate World Folklore Day. Earlier, when we are a student, we don't have much event on these kinds of the special day like World Folklore Day, but we have tried our best to make it expand. Even we have these 3 days celebration with conferences, with photography exhibition, and through paper presentation. And we have included our internship, as Sir said already, internship students, and 120 students joined from all over India. And that is very good that people are trusting us, people are getting training. And I hope that, and not only I, but our team, like total team of CFSR, and we have a long-term collaboration with University of Hyderabad. We have done Young Folklorist Conference, and then internship course, and then the third time this World Folklore Day. And we have many more plannings in the future that we can, collaborate and do our best to expand the discipline from both the level in the sense academic and non-academic, because this is the bridge where we can interact with academician, and as also non-academician, in the sense those who are artists, those who have this knowledge system. and they are better than us in terms of keeping the heritage, keeping the lore, keeping the knowledge. And we also thankful the other college like MU that we have done with other colleges, and they're also celebrating this festival like Asansol BB College and also Lokpara Mahavidyalaya Birbhum. So we have small kind of exhibition and conferences there also physically and online, like most of the things are being done hybrid level. So I thank everyone and also thank our dean ma'am and Joly sir and other faculty members and research scholars for joining this event. So I'll end it here. Maybe I talk too much, sorry.
That's okay. Thank you, Netaji sir and Joly sir, especially our team ma'am. It's- So thank you for and now inviting the Sharon and Avani from the Fine Arts Department, University of Hyderabad, to inaugurate the picturizing ritual. So, okay, Avani and Sharon.
Yeah, they are the curators of the
Okay.
show, so they will talk now.
Okay.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I am Sharon Ansam, and along with Avani Sunil, we are the curators of the photo exhibition Rituals in the Everyday, the Sacred and Ordinary, and the talk titled Framing the Sacred by Mr. Gireesh Gopinathan, photographer and alumnus of University of Hyderabad. Mr. Gopinathan's exhibition explores aspects of documenting rituals ranging from personal encounters and field experiences to ethical considerations and visual interpretations. In the talk happening tomorrow at Center for Folk Culture Studies, a curated slideshow of images from Mr. Gopinathan's 26 years of documentary work will be presented, offering a visual journey through India's diverse and evolving ritual landscapes. Further, the talk will explore rituals through the photographer's eyes using the case study and documentation of Paurnamika Temple. Despite the monsoon, we warmly invite everyone to participate in the talk and exhibition. Thank you.
So, okay, thank you and Avani and Sharon. Okay, Joly sir.
Okay. So I think we will proceed to go for the paper presentations. How much time we have? Now we are almost in the time. Let's see. We do not have the uh, first person, like she will be presenting offline. Aishiki Bandobadhyaya. So as per the today's schedule, Aishiki will be coming and joining us offline on 26th. So we have to start with Pratyusha Dasgupta, the unsung code, Gavri. So I think I'm sure that Pratyusha is there. Dhruva, Pratyusha is there, right? She was, I have seen her. So I
Yes,
will
sir,
only
I'm
read,
here.
yeah,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you, Pratyusha. Thank you, Pratyusha. I will read Pratyusha, Sauban, Nabina, Preeta Das, Panchituli, Gauri Murali. These are our presenters now. I hope one by one we'll go. So let's have, thank you so much for coming for the internal thing. So you can take some 15 minutes and we'll go ahead with the paper. Okay, Nijil will be the chair, but I'm unnecessarily talking too much. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
It's okay. Everyone can in the talk. And now we're going for the Pratyusha.
Yeah,
Uh,
sir. Yes, sir.
yeah, Pratyusha is. Okay, directly go to the okay,
Okay. Um,
section.
Good
Please
evening,
start.
everyone. Hello. Good evening, everyone. I hope my voice is audible.
It's pretty good.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you. So, myself Pratyusha Dasgupta, and today I present my paper, that is the unsung chord Gavri. As we know, during the Bhils are the most famous ancient tribe of our country, and during my fieldwork on 2016 and 17, I visited Mewar, or we can say the Udaipur district. The Bhaika Pichola village is my research area, and on that time also uh, I visited the tribals village, and I find this Gavri festival. So here through this paper, I will discuss the origin, what was the other aspect, the cultural aspect, the spirituality, the folk art, how it's all included through the Gavri. So in this paper, I presented today. So we find that the bhils are mainly found in Rajasthan, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, and Maharashtra. But these Gavri festivals we find in the, especially in the Rajasthan area, in the Udaipur districts. In Rajasthan, they lived in the green valleys and hills of the Aravalli region. And the most fascinating festivals we find, that is the Gavri, played by the Wheel tribes. It is a unique dance drama which is lasted for 40 days during the rainy season, mostly in the rainy season in July to after the end of the July, then the August to September, this time period, we find the Bhils are performing this Gavri festival. This is a folk dance drama kind of festival, and its pointed attention of combining the rituals and various secular aspects of prayer and recreation. It stands also that an unique expression of tribal solidarity and makes the general life of peasantry significantly we find. These are the all Gavri performer. The all performer you find in my screen, they all are men, but they used to wear the female costume and they perform the dance drama that is we called Gavri. Gavri have a origin that is a strong connection with the mythological tales like Lord Shiva and Bhashmashur. Right. So according to some legends, they believe that Bhashmashur went into a meditation and of Lord Shiva and Shankara. Shankar was so much pleased with his devotion and gave him a Bhasikara. Bhasikara is some kind of bangle, and it's a very, very powerful bangle which could burn anyone to death. So he was very much happy and it applied it on the Shankara himself, and Parvati made its consort. So, however, Vishnu in the guise of the Mahini and came to his rescue and eventually killed the Bhashmashur. So, while Bhashmashur was dying, he begged to Lord Vishnu that in some way his name should be immortalized. And in that case, Vishnu blessed that Gavri dance shall be performed to perpetuate in his memory. So that is a mythological connection we find through the Gavri. There are lots of philosophy behind the Gavri. There are lots of folk stories. There are lots of folk find we through this Gavri. That Gavri is based on Lord Shiva's life, and there are many philosophical ideologies about the Gavri we find. So it is believed that Lord Shiva is the supreme god of the wheels, and they adopted most important incidents of the Shiva's life to display their faith and devotion. So we are the most trustworthy worshippers of the Lord Shiva, right? And it was very necessary to select an individual who could give in Bhashmashur school and his memory perform a group of dance drama, and Lord Shiva considered that Bhil should perform this act. So they believe that Parvati father are also was a Hinjal Bhil. Right. So these all are the Bhil's philosophy, or we can say that's all are coming to the Bhil folk stories. And they believe that Parvati are also are belong from the Bhil community, and they are true worshipper of the Lord Shiva. So this kind of things we find about the Bhil's philosophy. Here I am showing some mythological tales also among the Bhil's philosophy. So whenever we find these all the glimpses of the Gavri performer, these all are during my fieldwork. I also find these all and click these all photographs, and these all are the Gavri performers, and they all are male performers, and they wearing the female dresses and perform. And the wheels are also called them as a Gavrika Khel, right? They called it as a Gavrika Khel. So Gavri have a strong connection of also the folk art, like the artistic skill of the tribal exhibit through the dance, drama, music, folk song, and costume. They use some bhil marks used in the drama, that is showing the excellent craftsmanship. Like these all are the different kind of Gavri marks. The Rai Buriya, that is a character of the wheels, and the character of the we can say that is the Gavri, and they recognize to the amazing hues marks. So when the protagonist wear these marks, the heavenly spirit enter in his body. They believe the amazing these things are enter in their body, the spirit have entered in their body, and they become very powerful and they perform. So these are very colorful different kind of marks. There I showing the three type of different kind of marks, right? So here these all marks are very much uniquely decorated with the different colors and different folk art we find through this mask. The main character in the Gavri, we find there are lots of deities character like Kalka, Shiva, Parvati, Amba, Kanha. There are lots of human being character we find in Bhili language, that is a Buriya, Rai, Kutkadiya, Kanj, Kanjari, Meena, Ketudi, Shankariya, Kalbeliya, Raita, Baniya, Kaluki, Jagi, Garda, Kangujari, Banjar, etc. There are lots of human character also we find in the Gavri tale. Some demon characters are also there like Banwada, Kadaliya Bhoot, Bhanivad, Hathia. So this is all are in the name of the Vili languages, right? So here we find some demon character, and apart from that, we also find some animals like pig, suar, they call rinchti, that is the bear, it means bear. Nahar means tiger, then bandar, monkey. So here we find some spirituality. The Gavri festivals they are doing, and apart from that, there are strong spiritual activities and spirituality we find there. Because the activities, the Gavrika Khel or the Gavri dance drama we find is a particular start from the central part of the villages in the Vil tribal area, and the participants gather around the place with the Bhopa, possess the deity spirit. Bhopa is a priest. The priest they called as a Bhopa, right? So they keep on striking their iron chain on over their shoulders, and the rest of the participants express their joy at the success. The Bhopa invoking the deity. Bhopa is, it means the priest, and the deity spirit and dancing around them with the priest. So 40 to 100 peoples we find in the Gavri Mandali, and they moved one place to another and enacting some folk tales, namely Bhavare ka khel, Badshah ki Fauj, Sood ka khel, Dhani Banjara, Shethi ka khel. So these are all the different kind of folk tales and folk stories we find, and they perform in the Gavris. Through the Gavri, they perform the all folk tales, all folk stories. When I visited and I interviewed the peoples, then we find different kind of folk stories. And I would like to, if I give some opportunity, then I would like to present some kind of stories and all. So here I am doing the
Total 6%. Yeah, exceeding the time.
okay.
Okay, please conclude it.
Okay. So these are all we find as a right. I told you about the pictures of the Gavri performance. I already told you there are long spirituality. This all the performance and the peoples are there during the interview with the performers. So here we find the Gavri have a symbolizes the strength of the character of the tribals, like the that is not easy. The Garvey performer life is not very easy because on that time the almost 30 days they spend their life in austerity, following the street rules, like they follow the celibacy, do not wear the shoes, abstain from the alcohol, meat, skip the dinner, green vegetables, sleep on the floor, do not bath during this period. So these kind of all things we find that that is engage the dance drama to the day for a month and living aside their farming work also. The festival and the testimony of the social solidarity that exists between the Bhils and the other villages. There we also find some cultural aspect that is also we find through the Gavri, that is dance is performed in the circular with accompanied with mandal, thali, dhol, and this dance drama that is performed in the open air without any stage, and that is very hard, and the performance is so captivating that all person irrespective their age, sex, caste, they are witness the show, and it is an art to express the happiness and good rain, that is they pray for it. So at the end, at the conclusion, we can say that Gavri is not only entertainment for the wills, but also there is a strong religious purpose that expresses the devotion of the Lord Shiva and Parvati, and that is a folk opera attention with a long duration, combining the ritual and secular aspects of the prayer and recreation. It also stands the some expression of tribal solidarity and contribution that is make general life peasantry of the village near about rather very very significant. So now, right now we find in the present time that Gavri is changing their features very rapidly, because in the time period in past time that is a long duration of time period like 30 days, now that is being reduced. Some peoples are also like the Bhagat Bhils, they are against this Gavri festivals and the celebration, because they don't believe in the Gavri, and it is a symbol of their culture and teach us the value of our life in harmony with the culture. So the wheels are they still kept alive this fascinating tradition of this unique folk dance drama opera of the rural Rajasthan. Thank you so much.
Okay, Pratisha, thank you for the. Certainly, it's an interesting topic from the Rajasthan. It's a wheel community. I have the only one doubt the how the tiger is came to the building from the Rajasthan that area, especially that any tiger representation is there in Rajasthan. Uh, uh, we are going for the small question section as Senior.
I think we'll go it in the last. That will be the best.
Okay, that's better.
Steal some time and go. We'll go with the next one. Soban Ahmad.
Soban Ahmad. Okay, Soban Ahmad is the. Okay, Soban.
Thank you.
Soban is there. Soban is
Yeah,
there.
hello.
Thank you, Pratyusha.
It's a presentation. Pratyusha, please close your presentation.
Okay.
I hope I am audible.
Yes, audible. Directly go to your presentation. It's there. Okay, do you have any
Yeah.
presentation? PPT presentation is there.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm just
Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to present the role of Midila painting and Nachari song in the preserving the legend of Upna Vidyabat in Midila culture. Okay, Soban Ahmad.
yes, 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 I'm just visible. Is it visible? Hello.
Yes, visible, visible. Please enlarge it. Okay, that one is. Okay, make it the slideshow.
Yeah. So yeah, is it
Yeah, yeah.
clearly visible and audible? Hello.
Visible and audible. Please tell.
Okay. Thank you. So today in my presentation, I'll be exploring how the memory of the medieval poet Vidyapati has been preserved, not only through texts which he has written, but also in the folklore and oral traditions as visual and also in the visual arts. So while scholars usually study the Vidyapati as the court poet and an intellectual of Mithila, but his image is remembered in the popular culture and it is equally relevant to be explored. One of the most enduring legends surrounding him is of the story of the Ugana, where Lord Shiva himself comes to the earth as the servant of Vidyapati and serves him. This has been retold for centuries in songs, paintings, and demonstrates how literature, devotion, and folk tradition merge in matching culture, and it also demonstrates the confluence of tangible and intangible heritage. So my research began like as I belong to Madhubani. So my research began long ago. So I have alongside the textual analysis, I have looked for oral narratives, Nachari folk songs, and Mithila paintings that preserve the legend. I have also considered how these traditions have been reimagined in the public art, such as the recent renovation of the Madhubani railway station, which took place in 2018. So, let us know who was Vidyapati. Vidyapati was born in, uh, although his date of birth is not yet confirmed, but it is uncertain actually. But he was born in 14th century in Bispi, Mithila, and was a multilingual poet, scholar, and the court intellectual. His works cover law, politics, devotion, songs, and even tantric practices. In Kirtalada, he connects the vernacular writings of and the regional conflicts which were going on between two communities. And in the Purush Parisha, he has given a unique discussion of the statecraft and the masculinity. Likewise, in Lignavali, he has illustrated uh, about the exchange between Sanskrit, Persian, and local idioms. But while his texts cement his position in the literary history, but in the cultural but in the cultural afterlife, he survives powerfully in the folklore. And this is what I am going to explore today. So let us know the core story of the Ugna Vidyapati legend. So the Ugna Vidyapati legend is perhaps the most popular story in the Mithila region. The Vidyapati, who was the poet, as I mentioned, and one day the Lord Shiva came to earth in the disguise of Ugna, his household servant, despite being the supreme deity. Shiva humbly cooked, fixed water, and served Vidyapati, who treated him like any other man. Eventually, Vidyapati comes to know his true identity one day, but then the intimacy of their bond had become the heart of the Mithila's oral tradition. I would like to record the beautiful couplet, which this is the Ugna Mahadev temple in Bhavanipur village of Madhuban. And right on the opposite side of this, although this is from a different angle, right on the opposite side of the temple, there is a couplet. Himgiri upar basai kailash, ta chadhi ugna kare nivas. Meaning, on Mount Kailash resides Shiva, yet he descends to live as Ugna. And uh, as I told you that Ugna was actually a servant. So let us know the how this story survives in the oral tradition in Mathili culture. Oral tradition have long been the central preservation of the Vidyapati's memory. In Mithila, every generation has grown up listening to stories of Ugna and Vidyapati. These stories are told during household gatherings, village fairs, and, and festivals, blending religious devotion with regional pride. Unlike manuscript, oral traditions assured a wider audience and reached people across gender, caste, and even it transcended the boundaries of Mithila region. Now let us know what are Nachari songs. Vidyapati was an ardent devotee of Lord Shiva, and his compositions reflect deep Shaiva bhakti. In his Mahesh Bani songs, he vividly describes Shiva's family and portrays the god in the ascetic form, smeared with ashes adorned with serpents accompanied by bulls. Whereas in the Nachari songs, which I am going to discuss, the Nachari song is made up of two words, the Nach and the Lachari, which means to dance in helplessness in front of the supreme deity. So the Nachari songs are the songs where devotion takes the form of song and dance, both. In these performances, the devotee expresses helplessness, lachari, and grief before Lord Shiva, often narrating his pain and surrender through rhythm and movement. Thus, both Maheshwani and Nachari traditions demonstrate Vidyapati's poetry wove together theology and has helped significantly to keep this entire narrative alive. So these are some of the like this is one of the nacharis by Vidyapati. Kakhan harab dukh mor, he bholenath, kakhan durak dukh harab mor, दुखिम जन्म भेल दुखिम गमाओल हे भोलेनाथ कखन हरब दुख मोर, which means, hey Bholenath, when will you relieve me of my sufferings? I was born into sorrow and have endured only pain, and from that day till now happiness has become impossible for me. Even in my dreams, I do not see happiness. Oh Bholenath, when will you end my sufferings? So these nacharis are very common to be sung among the in the community gatherings. So uh, this is now I'll be talking about the Mithila painting tradition and how it has helped in keeping this narrative alive. So this picture has been taken by me only from the Madhubani railway station, and this is the staircase and shows the Mithila painting. And these pictures are very common and very intricate part of the Mithila culture. So and they are so inseparable from the Mithila culture. And this is just for the reference of the railway station. So let us know the origin of the Mithila painting a bit. The Mithila painting tradition, known more popularly known as Madhubani painting, is another medium through which Vidyapati's legend has been preserved. Women of Mithila painted their walls with motifs of gods, rituals, and everyday life. Over centuries, scenes from Ugna Vidyapati legend also entered this this entire theme. Ugna, um, Ugna in humble as a humble servants and Shiva, and also and it also shows the engagement between Vidyapati and Shiva, that is Ugna, and also how Vidyapati recalls him after after Ugna leaves him. So these visual narratives reflect how folk imagination and emotion intertwine in Mathil society. So this is the Madhubani railway station, and it was actually transformed and renovated in 2018 by 200 local artists, out of among which 80% of them were women, and it was the initiative of Indian government, under the Rail Swachh Mission. So let us see the Ugna narrative, Ugna Vidyapati narrative in the railway station, and how it acts as a public art. So in this painting, in this first painting, where the Ugna meets the Vidyapati. So as you can see, the Ugna is sitting is actually asking for the job to Vidyapati, and after that, after agreeing to although Vidyapati said that he has no money to offer him, but after seeing his helplessness, he eventually agrees to keep him as his servant. After that, it shows that how Ugna carries the wood to cook the meal um, and stuffs. And the in the second narrative, in the second panel, we see Ugna and Vidyapati in the forest. So Ugna and Vidyapati leaves their home, and Ugna joins Vidyapati in his
Okay, Shobham, please conclude.
just 2 minutes. In
Okay.
his journey, and Vidyapati actually faints in between, and after that he asks for water, and Ugna had no source of water. After that, he opens his jata and gives and offers him water. After which Vidyapati comes to know his reality, that he is Shiva. And one day when Ugna was not doing his works properly, so one can see that his wife was about to beat him. And this was the time when Vidyapati told his wife that he is Shiva, none other than he is Shiva, and after that Shiva disappears, and this is the panel which shows the grief of Vidyapati, and how he is lamenting. This is another Nachari, which is about how he is missing Ugna throughout. So yeah, this was it.
So, okay, Shobhan Ahmad paper is mainly focusing on the preserving the local folklore.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Shobhan Ahmad. Okay, now I'm going. Nabina Kansabani. Is there?
Yeah, Nabina was there.
Nabina? Shobhan, please close your.
Um,
Shobhan? Shobhan, please close your PPT presentation. Shobhan. So, can Nabina start your?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes. Do you have any PPT presentation?
Yes, I have.
No, please.
How to share screen? I don't know.
Is in your screen is three dot is there?
Yes. Why? Where? Oh, WhatsApp. Okay. I got
Okay.
this.
You got it. The otherwise the share screen is as the third one.
How to share screen?
Shares. Okay, just after the video, you can see a small a TV screen and arrow is there. Within your screen. Okay, just after your video and the emoji is there. Staying between the emojis and the video.
The emoji is on the right, on the above on the right corner or the left.
Okay, left one. The video sharing screen. So okay, just you want to point the mouse cursor on. I think between the video.
Okay, Nijil.
Yeah.
Let her present it orally. Otherwise, let her send it to the anyone.
No, she can.
Okay.
Solely after the video, just after the video, the TV formatting within the arrow is upward.
Okay, 1 minute. Just give me 1 minute. I will.
Okay, okay. It's coming. No.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, it was visible. It is visible. You can start sharing.
Okay.
Shobhan, please close your presentation.
Is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yes, it is.
Please start. Please start.
Okay. Sorry for the technical problem. First and foremost, thank you so much for giving me the
Just
opportunity to
your,
present here.
your presentation is.
Yes.
Just go to your presentation.
So is my presentation yet visible?
Shobhan, you stop your presentation. Let her present.
Please, Shobhan, may please click on stop sharing. Your stop sharing button is there now. Please click on that and your screen will be stopped.
Okay, now it is visible. You go, Nabina. Please go ahead.
Okay. The title of my paper is Embodied Resistance, Cultural Survival and Stigmatization in Nachni Performance. So today I will talk about the Nachni performers who are very popular in the local population of Purulia and some parts of neighboring Jharkhand. So this rustic form of dance is accompanied by Jhumur song, which is, we all know, that another old performing art of the Chotonagpur plateau. In this performance, men sing in their deep husky voices, and Nachinis accompany the song, maintaining the beat through rhythmic foot tapping, which gives this form its traditional name Jhumur, which means bells on anklets. We can see on the pictures that they are dancing with, and they are also accompanying their male singers, and the male singers is known as the Rasiks. So the Nachni is the remaining rump of the once dominant Tawaif culture beginning in the first 18th century. The position of Tawaif, which was the colloquial term for the Nach girl, became highly respected within the Mughal elite. Tawaifs also flourished in Awadh and further east in Varanasi and Calcutta. In this east region, the colloquial term for a Tawaif or a Nach girl is the Baiji. So how the Nachni is evolved through the time, here we will discuss that. During this period, the East India Company spread its rule in India, and many early European officials married local Taoists or kept them in their harems as courtesans. However, in the aftermath of the Great Mutiny of 1857, the Delhi and Awadh court was disbanded. During this same period, social performance were bringing in an era of enlightenment and female emancipation. Tawaifs became a symbol of medieval decadence. Many famous Tawaifs and Baiji continued to dominate the urban cultural milieu well into the 20th century, while their popularity eventually declined with the coming of new mediums of entertainment in the form of theatre, gramophone, radio, and cinema, and increasing participation of women in public life. Sensing the change in social dynamics, many Tawaifs became popular singers and onstage actors. Others moved to the countryside where technology was slow to penetrate. This is how today's Nachni was evolved. Now, I will talk about their dress pattern. Here we see that the Rasiks also help them to adorn them with jewelries. So the Dhumri and the Zamindari dance style, there are two different dance styles, Dhumri and Zamindari dance styles, and then we will talk about the Boishaliya dance style. So in the Dhumri and Zamindari dance styles, artists had a special type of dress. They used to wear ghagra. Below the ghagra was a pajama, a waistband, a blouse slightly larger than the top, which was called a jacket, a colorful handkerchief in one hand and a dope on the leg. After making up the face, the neck, ears, hands, hair were adorned with ornaments as much as possible. On the other hand, Dhumri's Rasik, the male singer, wear dhoti, vests, and a red shawl or towel around their waist. There is a very important part in the Rasik's outfit was his turban. It is heard that it took 2 to 3 hours to tie this turban. To beautify the turban, a peacock fan was placed on the top of it. After the Dhumri and Zamindari dance style, we saw a different dress pattern in the Boishali dance, where Bai dance artists presents themselves in a completely new form. Leaving the ghagras, their limbs are adorned in saris. Radical changes occur not only in clothing but also in equipment. This change was achieved by the hand of dance artist Shindhubala at the order of the king of Kashipur. The other is the change through the hands of Bajra Zamindar and Rashik Vrindavan Singh Charubabu, his two dancers Peli and Sugandha. If we will talk about their equipments and their musical instruments, in this picture we saw the madol, the dhamsha. So the dance was performed with dhol, dhamsha, shenai, dhak, cherpeti, shingha and jhumka. Several artists performed dances at the event. Along with them, a Rashik dressed as Krishna used to participate in the ashur, means the stage. The basic subject of their play is the romance between the Radha and Krishna, where the Rasik is acted as Krishna and the Nachni or the Bai, who was the female dancers, played the role of the Radha. If we will talk about their social status, the Nachni community is made up of young girls of the subaltern class. To make ends meet, they leave their home at very young age and take refuge under the patronage of the Rasik. A Rasik is actually a male Jhumur performer and a singer. Initially, these girls neither have any sense of aesthetics nor do they have possess any basic performance skills. It is the Rasik who teach them song and dance. The Rasik improvise greatly while teaching their Nachnis, and also the Nachnis improvise too while performing live on stage. During the performance, the Rasik controls the whole show and participate in percussions and additional vocals. In many cases, the partnership on stage extends to the real life, and Nachnis over time became the living partner of the Rasik and stays with the Rasik under the same roof. Much like the Maharaja and the Zamindar Babus, in the past, the Rashik has to find an alternative arrangements for his family and keep the households two separate. Though it is the Nachni performance on the stage and attracts the audience, it is the Rasik who hold over the control of earning. So there we saw a insecurity in the life of the Nachnis. Here we can see that they used to play in the village area, in the locality, and we also see the lifestyle of the Nachnis and their dress pattern, how they are performing and how they are earning their living. So if we conclude at the end that the Nachni is not just a dance style but a dynamic cultural tradition that reflects the complexity of the lives of the people of this region, efforts to preserve and promote this heritage are essential to maintain the cultural diversity and richness of region. Continued study of Nachni will ensure that this unique art form can be preserved for future generations. My paper is mostly based on secondary sources that I couldn't get time to get a survey and collect primary sources. For the references, I used the Nachni, Unveiling the Diverse Dance Forms and Style by Brojomohon Shamal and Dr. Joydeep Uran, Nachni, the Dancing Girl of Bengal by N. Chakraborty, Puruliyar Itihash, The History of Purulia by K. Chakraborty, Nachni Shilpi Sindhubala by C.K. Mahato, H. Mahato, Lokjibon o Loko Sangskriti by Dr. Bro Prodanto. Thank you all.
Okay. Thank you, Nabina. Okay, within the time concluding the session, I calling Prida Das. Prida Das is the
Yes, sir, present.
Prida Das is already present. Okay, please start, Prida Das.
Yes, sir. Sir, is it visible? Is my screen visible?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, a screen not visible. To your picture and
Yes, sir.
Please turn on the this one presentation screen.
presentation screen, please. Turn
We
on.
cannot see your presentation screen.
Sir,
It's okay, visible now.
Yes, it's visible. Yeah.
okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Preetha Das. I'm very grateful for the chance to speak to you all. My paper today is titled Behula and the Brides of Bengal, Folkloric Women Who Rescue Themselves. When we think of women in Bengali literature, the image that often comes to our mind is the woman inside the Andor Mahal. She is writing secretly by the light of a lamp, like Rasha Sundari Devi in Amar Jibon, or she is the widowed Binodini of Tagore, the heartbroken Paro of Sharat Chandra, the revolutionary but shackled Subarnalata of Ashapurna Devi. These are women whose stories are powerful, but also shaped by silence, enclosure, and the gaze of men. But Bengal also had another world of women's voices, where they did not simply suffer but carved out their own strategies for survival. Today, I want to take you to that world, to folklore, to the woman who made resistance part of everyday life. In colonial Bengal, women in literature are most often remembered as tragic figures. Their spaces are narrow, the Antarmahal, the marriage home, sometimes the widow's corner. Though some rebel, they do so within the limits of the Lakshman Rekha already drawn for them. This is the womanhood we have inherited from print literature. Quiet, passive, waiting to be delivered. But this is only one half of the story. If we turn our gaze from the printed page to the sung verse to the oral story, a very different kind of Bengali women begin to emerge. Before we delve deeper, it is important to understand that folklore was not just amusement, it was also discipline. Think of Lokhir Pachali. On the surface, it is a simple household ritual, women singing to please the goddess of prosperity. But beneath it lies an entire structure of regulation. These verses tell women how to behave, how to keep order in the home, how to mark what is moral or immoral. In that sense, folklore became an informal legal archive. It prescribed, it judged, it rewarded, and it punished. In a society where women had almost no legal standing, these songs functioned as law itself. They set the rules of everyday survival. But folklore was never only about control, it was also a source of strength. Take the songs of Behula. On the surface, it is a tale of a devoted wife. But for the women who sang it, it was a rehearsal, a way of embodying pain and defiance. Behula does not give up. She resists gods themselves to bring her husband back. When women sang Behula's journey, they were practicing endurance. They were imagining their own possibilities of survival. These were not abstract theories, they were lived rehearsals of resilience shared across generations, passed through voice, memory, and ritual. So, folklore is both. It disciplines, but it also empowers. It is in this double role that folklore became such a rich space for studying women's lives in Bengal. Resurrection in folklore is not just religious promise, it is also a narrative grammar that different cultures have shaped according to their values. If we look at the Greco Roman imagination, Orpheus descends to the underworld to bring back Eurydice. But the grammar is unmistakably patriarchal. The man moves, the man negotiates, the woman is the passive recipient. In Christian theology, too, resurrection is an act granted by a male authority. Jesus lifting Lazarus from the dead. However, if we turn our gaze to Bengal and to the wider Indic traditions, the grammar shifts. Behula sails with the corpse of her husband, not waiting for divine male grace, but performing the ritual herself. These are not women waiting to be saved. These are women who mastered the very script of resurrection. Here, resurrection becomes a feminist grammar, one where love, endurance, wit, and spiritual strength allow women to reclaim life itself. Across cultures, the snake has been used as a motif, and it is almost the most charged symbols of all. In the biblical imagination, the snake is temptation, sin, corruption of the female body, the exile from Eden. Eve and the serpent are eternally bound in this image of downfall. But in Bengal, the serpent acquires an altogether different resonance. Manusha, the goddess of snakes, is not a figure of damnation, but of fertility, prosperity, the guardian of household. She is worshipped to be embraced as part of the cycle of life. So we see how archetypes are never innocent. The same serpent that condemned Eve becomes the deity who sustains village life in Bengal. These differences are not accidental. They arise from different histories, different cosmologies, different ways of imagining women's place in the order of things. Let us now travel to a text that is perhaps less familiar but deeply radical in its imagination. This is the Ramayana of Chandravati, composed in the 16th century by a woman poet from Bengal. Her life itself was marked by heartbreak, and out of that heartbreak, she chose to retell one of the greatest epics of South Asia. She, instead of Ram, turns the entire gaze towards Sita. She
Rida, are you
refuses to
there?
glorify.
Rida?
Yes, sir?
Oh, okay, are you there? Okay, please conclude it as soon as possible.
Sir, was I audible all this time?
Yeah, yes,
No,
audible.
no, you were audible, but just conclude it as soon as possible. That's
Okay,
what
you
I
need to
say.
conclude.
You can continue.
Okay, sir, 2 minutes, please.
Okay, okay.
I will record them.
She, instead of Ram, turns the entire gaze towards Sita. She refuses to glorify Rama and instead writes a story of grief, abandonment, betrayal, and quiet endurance. Her Ramayana becomes a proto-feminist archive because it does not treat Sita as a shadow, but as the very center of meaning. The tragedy of Sita becomes the tragedy of women at large. In Bengal, haunted folklore, the afterlife is not just about fear, but about desire denied. The Shakchunni, the Rakhushi Rani, the Petni, the Pori, drawn from Persian and Islamic tales, all emerge as women who refuse to rest quietly. In life, they were denied silk, ornaments, love, or the freedom of pleasure. In death, they return to claim it with a vengeance. Their hunger is not subtle, their body is ungovernable, their laughter unholy. These figures embody what patriarchy most fears, the female who will not stay buried. They turn the grave into a space of resistance where suppressed longing becomes spectral power. Unlike the sanctified goddesses who embodies care and control, the ghostly feminine thrives in excess, insisting that women's bodies and voices continue to unsettle the living order. Vladimir Prop's contribution lies in demonstrating that folk tales are not randomly or purely ornamental, but governed by a grammar of functions. If European folk tales often culminate in the hero's triumph and return, Bengali tales like Behula Lokhindor bend that arc. Behula does indeed undergo departure, trial, and ordeal, but the reward is not the hero's victory, but the heroine's endurance and negotiation with divine powers. So prop gives me a comparative structure, a way to place Bengali narratives within a global morphology of story, while also showing where they rupture that grammar. Those ruptures, I argue, are precisely where questions of gender, power, and desire erupt most forcefully. In the great Sanskritic epics, Rama is the hero, Arjuna is the hero. Power rests in the figures of the male warrior who embodies dharma. But if we turn to the so-called marginal literatures of Bengal, the satirical verses, the village kabya, the woman songs, the power shifts in remarkable ways. It is no longer the king or the warrior who carries the weight of people's identity. It is often the woman. This is why these texts matters. They are not footnotes to the Ramayana or Mahabharata, but counter archives that define how generations of Bengalis imagine gender, morality, and community. Even today, when we turn on the television, when we watch the endless serials, we see the echoes of the same structure. The woman who bears the family, who holds together the moral fabric of the society. Thank you so much.
It's okay. Thank you, Prita Das. Presently now I experiencing now the technology is developed more. Okay, thank you, Prita. And now I invited Vanishta Tuli.
Yes, sir.
Vanishta.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
oh,
Just a second.
okay, please start your presentation. Vanishta?
Yeah, sir. Is it visible? My
Yes,
screen?
visible, visible.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. The title of my paper is Inscribing Memory, Folklore Performance and Cultural Memory in Indian Temple Inscriptions. The main aim of this presentation is to get into textual layers within Indian temples and their inscriptions. And the three main sites that I would be looking at is Padmanabham Swami Temple from Kerala, Hampi's Virupaksha Complex, and Meenakshi Temple, Tamil Nadu. When pilgrims approach the towering gopurams of the Meenakshi Temple in Madurai or trace their fingers along the weathered walls of Hampi, Virupaksha complex, they encounter not merely architectural monuments but palimpsest of devotional expression spanning centuries. While scholarly attention has focused predominantly on formally carved royal edicts and donors' inscriptions, these temples all harbor an equal rich but understudied textual tradition, the informal inscriptional practice of ordinary devotees. These markings, ranging from hastily scratched pilgrimage records to carefully incised vernacular verses, represent what Diana Taylor calls the repertoire made manifest in material form. This study interrogates the theoretical and methodological implications of treating folkloric temple inscriptions as legitimate objects of scholarly inquiry rather than mere vandalism or epigraphic noise, drawing on recent developments in cultural memory studies, performance theory, and South Asian religious scholarship. Diana Taylor's influential distinction between archive and repertoire provides the conceptual foundation for this analysis. Taylor defines the archive as supposedly enduring materials like text, documents, building, bones, etc., while the repertoire encompasses embodied practice knowledge, spoken language, dance, sports, ritual. The traditional epigraphic scholarship has treated temple inscriptions exclusively as archival documents, focusing on their capacity to preserve and transmit historical information across time. However, folkloric inscriptions complicate the binary by representing moments when the repertoire, the embodied, performed, and epipheral aspects of devotional practice becomes materially embedded within the architectural archive. The process of materialization transforms what Richard Sessional terms restored behavior into permanent textual form. When a pilgrim carves their name, hometown, or devotional verse onto a temple wall, they're not merely documenting their presence, but extending their ritual performance beyond its temporal boundaries. The act of inscription becomes itself a performative gesture, what Victor Turner would recognize as a liminal practice that bridges the sacred and mundane, the temporary and the permanent. Jan Asman framework of cultural memory proves equally crucial for understanding how temples function as memory spaces, where collective identity and religious tradition are both preserved and continuously reconstructed. However, Alida Asman's refinement to this theory, particularly her distinction between storage memory and functional memory, offers more nuanced tools for analyzing the dynamic relationship. Formal temple inscriptions typically function as storage memory, archived information that preserves specific historical moments, dynastic achievements, or theological doctrines. Folkloric inscriptions, by contrast, often operate as functional memory, actively shaping ongoing devotional practices and community identity. A vernacular couplet praising a local deity's miraculous intervention, for instance, does not merely record a past event, but continues to influence pilgrimage patterns and ritual expectations. A.K. Ramanujan's conceptualization of little traditions provides essential context for understanding the cultural dynamics at the work in folkloric temple inscriptions. Ramanujan argues that Indian cultural traditions exist in constant dialogue between cosmopolitan great traditions and localized little traditions like vernacular religion and popular. Temple walls become sites where this dialogue is literally inscribed in stone as formal Sanskrit epigraphs coexist with Tamil devotional poetry, Hindi pilgrimage records, and regional folk narratives. As I said before, the three sites that I am using is Padmanabhan Swami, Hampi is one Virupaksha complex, and Meenakshi temple. I have used in simple records that are available and then elaborate compositions from other people that is available on record. And yes, I've visited these sites. That's why I've used spatial dynamics as well. The concept of performative archive challenges the distinction between documentation and performance. Folkloric inscriptions simultaneously record past devotional acts and influence contemporary ritual practices. They function as scenarios where devotional scripts are preserved and creatively transformed, and cultural memory is both archived and actively recreated. The relationship between folkloric inscriptions and official temple authority is complex. While some inscriptions challenge orthodoxy, many extend official religious narratives. This reflects public memory, where communities actively construct and maintain collective religious narratives, asserting their role as active participants. Moving on to the Padmanabhan Swami. The Padmanabhan Swami in Kerala is a striking case of how formal and informal inscriptions practice coexist in temple walls. Its earliest copper plate grants, such as Sarai Spali's plates, illustrate the tight intertwining of royal patronage, commerce, and religion. These plates detail grants by Ayan Attikal, Tiruvattikal to the Syrian Christian community, and though not inscribed on temple wall itself, they exemplify the broader cultural milieu in which temples become sites of political authority. Closer to Padmanabhan Swami, Travancore royal records carved into granite recount land donations, temple rituals, and priestly privileges, ensuring dynastic authority was materially etched into sacred space. Yet, alongside these royal inscriptions, temple walls also bear vernacular markings in Malayalam and Tamil. Pilgrims scratch their names, towns, and invocations into stone, creating a record of lived religion, often dismissed by the epigraphist as graffiti. One such scratch line, translated loosely from Malayalam, reads, Govindan from Kolam saw Padmanabha and offered oil for the lamp. Unlike royal degrees, these epiphyral inscription functions as what Jain Asman terms functional memory. It does not preserve dynastic history but sustains ritual continuity. The Virupaksha temple at Hampi, part of the Vijayanagar capital, provides one of the richest archives of inscription layering. Official epigraphs from 12th to 16th century preserve acts of endowment by rulers and chiefs.
So Vanshida?
Yeah.
Okay, please conclude it.
Yeah, just one more minute. For For instance, 1199 CE inscription by the Sindha chief Meduna Chaudhya records a grant to the Pampa Tirtha carved directly onto the wall of the Pampa temple. Another inscription from 1236 CE notes Hoysala king Somvardeva's financial gift for feeding Brahmins. These authoritative epigraphs demonstrate what Diana Taylor would categorize as archival dimensions. Moving on to the last one, the Meenakshi Sundeshwara temple in Madurai offers the densest corpus of inscriptions, with 410 inscriptions across its gopurams and mandapas. This distribution itself is significant while pan-India royal centers, while Hampi prioritizes Sanskrit, Meenakshi elevated temple devotional voice, resonating with Ramanujan's idea of little traditions, dialogue with great tradition. One of the most significant discoveries in the earliest epigraphic use of name Meenakshi, found on the Pavai Vilaku, the lampstand, in 1752 CE. Before this date, inscriptions refer to the goddess by older titles such as Thiruka Makudam, Uday Aludya Nachia, or later as Azagar Meenakshi. The fact that the widely recognized name Meenakshi only appears in 18th century illustrates how divine identities are not fixed but evolve through transcriptional practices. By 1898, epigraphic records of temple in now familiar form Meenakshi Sundeshwar. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Vanshika. Now we are going to the last presentation by the Gaudi Murali. Gaudi is there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just going to the presentation.
Is it visible?
No, no. Ah, yes, now
It's not
visible.
visible.
Okay, okay.
So, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to present.
So, please close your mic. Your audio is.
Sorry.
You are not audible that much.
Oh. Is it okay now? Should I
Okay.
speak louder?
Yeah, go on, go on.
Go on.
Okay, okay. So I will be presenting about this folk ritual form called Mudiator from Kerala, which is a ritual theatre form basically and has its roots around in the 9th and 10th century CE. So I'll basically be looking at the goddess Kali itself, who is the central figure of Mudiator, and how Kali went from a scooch goddess to a prominent deity within the Hindu pantheon. Now, the ritual is inextricably woven with religion and religious practices, and is also essentially a high caste ritual because the performers are from the temple caste of Kurpa or Mara caste, as you can see, and prominently from three families in Kerala. Even though other castes are involved in it because it's a community ritual and you have people from other castes involved in making the headgears and the makeup and the kalamerthu of the ritual and all of that. So the story of the ritual is basically about how the war between the Devas and Asuras ends, and two women escaped unscathed from this, and they both have two sons, two demon kings who grew up to be Darikan and Danavendran. Now Darikan performs extreme penance and request before Brahma, and eventually gets a boon and is wreaking havoc across all three realms. Now Darikan cannot be killed according to his boon from Brahma. He cannot be killed by a man, either mortal nor divine, nor can he be killed inside a house or outside it. And when Darigan is killed, with every drop of blood that falls on the ground, 1,000 other demons will come to being. So it's a very, it's a catch-22 situation where you cannot really kill the demon. This is when Narada goes to Shiva and requests to do something, and Shiva creates this goddess Kali, Bhadra Kali, as you might know, from his third eye. Now, this is how Kali is created, and Kali eventually kills the demon. That is what the myth is about, Darika Vatam, or the slaying of the Darikan. And it has seven scenes and seven characters, and it operates in a stylized manner. So I have mentioned the scenes, but then I will not go into them in detail because of the want of time. These are the scenes, as you can see, and it starts from Kailasam and then moves towards Padalam and involves, it almost starts from midnight and extends about 5 to 7 hours, probably till dawn.
Now, the core argument that I'm trying to bring here is how a myth that centralizes a female figure like Kali treats the woman or the female entity. Now, the the attention is not to vilifying a ritual that essentially has its roots in 9th and 10th century CE, and that also does not have the kind of institutional backing that a classical theatre form might have in Canada. But it only looks at how gender operates in a very ambiguous term within Mediator itself. So I will first be looking at the core text. Now, if you look at the core text, you can see that it is essentially very different from how Hindu goddesses are imagined in terms of their appearance. You see that they're very demure, they're quiet, and often always almost subservient to the male counterpart. And Rita Gross argues that Hindu goddesses have, even though they're quiet, they're strong-willed and powerful and everything. Now, Kali comes in at this point in a very different manner, in a sort of a wrathful femininity, and is described in terms of features that are traditionally seen as ugly or even horrible. Now, there is this part from Mediator that describes Kali of how death is her enslaved associate, cremation grounds are her dwelling, and she has ghouls and spirits and all sorts of trespass souls accompanying her, and has her legs that are as big as the feet of an elephant, her navel as profound as a dark valley, her breast as impressive as two mountains, and her blood-colored mouth with protruding tongue and fangs that almost resemble a cave. So we can see that Kali is not like the other goddesses of the Hindu pantheon. She uses colloquial language. She abuses people who are part of the audience. She uses slurs, everything. But at the same time, what you can see is that Kali essentially does not have a lot of agency in the context itself, because she is a product of an emotional outburst, and it is said that Kali could not really control her rage, and Shiva had to ask Nandi and Ganapati and Subramaniam to lay down his infants so that Kali could pick them up, and she had this overflow of maternal emotions. She could feed them from her breast, and finally that controlled her anger. So no matter how deviant in quotes a woman is, essentially it all boils down to the maternal instincts. And Shiva is the agent that gives Kali her divinity. Shiva steps in at every important point in the ritual, as you can see, and the ritual even has mentions of incest. Now, the thing, the downside to this is that, as Sarah Calvin argues, Bhadrakali is a very powerful yet a benevolent goddess, but she's always described in terms of this binary where she's a chaste virgin as well as a caring mother. So you see that Kali, who is an unrestrained, powerful entity, her rage and everything that is around her also links back to a sort of unrestrained sexual energy, which you can also see, as another presenter also mentioned, is very similarly seen in the Yakshi stereotype, where there is a wronged virgin or a woman without any sexual experience going haywire when it comes to sexuality. And this uncontrolled rage and sexuality are not desirable entities, because Sarah Caldwell argues how in Kerala, despite its all matrilineal tradition and everything, Bhadrakali was not a goddess that was respected by women. It was a goddess that was feared by women. So women were said that this is not what you should aspire to be. Kali essentially was like a warning. This is not what is expected of women from Kerala, and how they can be controlled by the agents of patriarchy. And even when you look at how Kali is presented, she has this long protruding tongue, her mouth, her exposed breast. And this is a woman who's chasing men in the middle of the night. And even when it comes to women in Kerala, or the immediate cultural context of it, they were not only conscious about appearing as pure, but also muting anything that was remotely sexual in their speech as well. So we see that there is a sort of anxiety and fear that is created using a myth that is essentially very different from other Hindu goddesses. And Kali, as a hypersexualized woman itself, she even, Arna Banerjee writes about this, says she even resembles the sexual cravings of an unsatisfied woman who is almost a threat to the society. Now, before going on to the aesthetics, also Kali, if you look at it, you see that Kali is not born in an ordinary way as an ordinary woman. she's created by a man, does not have any of the ordinary aspects that femininity ascribes to women, and also is completely stripped of all her femininity and is presented as a masculine manifestation, which I will get into later. Now, looking at the aesthetics, we see that it is very one aspect that makes Kali stand out is how the makeup is done in Kali is very different from other folk or other classical theatrical forms, because Kali is shown as a goddess with smallpox. Now, I will not get into the mythology because there is no time, but she has pustules covering her face, and this is represented with lime spikes in makeup as well. And it is not a graceful image that is full of lasya, but it is a very ferocious image that is being invoked here. We see that it was not subtle. She has metal fangs. She's holding a sickle shaped sword, and sickle again is no it is not an accidental symbolism. You see that when it comes to other movements in Kerala, including that of the Kerala People's Arts Club movement, sickle has a very revolutionary significance in popular culture itself. And the use of the Valiya Mudi, which is the hair that essentially becomes the vehicle of transformation. It is when the man the actor who dons this hair, that there is a complete transformation into the goddess, which is the female entity. So that is one. Now, but looking at the performance space, now, despite dealing with a goddess, the performance space is hyper masculine centric, because it is men who are tasked with the. It is men who are tasked with the
Gauri, please
performance.
go to the conclusion.
Yeah. So they are the ones who perform, except for very few female performers like Palur Bindu. And an important aspect that I wanted to get into, but I don't know if I have the time, is the Coolie. Now, Coolie represents an Aboriginal woman. She is almost in the end stage of pregnancy, but then is presented as a comic relief, but in terms of something that is an alter ego of the goddess, as almost in an animal like way, without quote unquote culture, performing slapstick routines with heavy emphasis on her breast and how she attempts to feed men from the crowd with her artificial breasts and everything. So it is a hyper-sexualized image, but very different from that of a goddess, to show that this is something that is unclean or is not as civilized or cultured as the goddess. And finally going on, basically two arguments that I wanted to see: whether the dominant male entity is empowered by assuming the role of the marginal, or is it the fact that when the male, so you even through the performance, you see that it is not acting, but it is a transformation. They are literally becoming the goddess itself. So the male body drained and exhausted by containing a sexually charged female entity. And yeah, that is pretty much it. And the duality of the session that I was trying to put forward is that it is not a female, it does not emerge from a female psyche, but instead is a male conception of a goddess, of a female goddess, that is also used to keep women in control. Thank you.
Thank you, Gauri. So our proper presentation is everything is over. No, it's such a good presentation from our really representing our diversified folk culture of India. It's a real representation from the Rajasthan to the Bihar, Bengal, and wherever south to Kerala. It's a good representation. The Kaveri. It's okay. I'm inviting some questions from the audience, please.
Well, it was a very interesting presentations, from a Gavari performance to Mudi, a very passionate presentation on Kali, Mudi to Kali. And interestingly, I still like that Soban's Maithili railway station, which is full of, that Maithili painting, etc., etc. So it's very highly folkloresque. And interestingly, there was Preeti's presentation. It was something like looking like, a very well-timed, recorded presentation on Bahula culture, Vanishta's work on inscriptions, etc., etc. I think I missed some. Anyway, but interesting thing is, one thing in the first presentation, takes you to the spirituality, and the last presentation takes you to the spirituality's excess. So it is, in a way, it's very interesting. And young folklorists and the young people who are trying to study culture from their own perspectives are looking so hopeful and energetic, and that is very satisfactory. So anyone can pick up some questions. I have one comment for Gauri, that apart from sticking on to Cladwell and all, there are quite a lot of, she's a Mallu, so there are quite a lot of Malayali writers written on even Kilam himself written on Mudia too, and that will be a wonderful source for you to really look at, because Sarah Gladwell and all looked at it with a perspective in their mind, through their lens. They have seen the wonder was India, wonder is this woman. So whatever it is. Okay, anyway, I'm not the one to comment, but I really liked many of the presentations, that the whole of presentation and the presentation which goes with some second resource on inscriptions, etc., etc. Oh, Vanshida, yes. Yeah. Okay. A couple of questions we can take and wind it up for today.
Anyone? Okay, Shubhan.
Yeah, so I have a question for uh, Pratyusha ma'am. Hello, I hope she is hearing me. And the question is that she showed
I think
several.
she has left the chat. I think she has left the meeting, I guess. Okay, she is.
No, she's there. She's back.
Okay, yeah. So yes, so what I wanted to ask was that she showed several kinds of masks of different colors and different designs. So do they actually signify something or symbolize something? So that was really my question, which intrigued me. If you could really tell us about it, if it actually symbolizes something. Pratyusha ma'am.
Yes, please tell me again. I missed because some connection issues.
Yeah, you have shown masks, and the masks have different colors. Do these colors have some cultural symbolism?
And designs as well.
Yes, actually, in the masks are very much important to the Gavri performer, because they believe the different kind of colorful marks when they put on their face, they have some spiritual power in their body. So that's why we find this kind of mask is very important. And the Raiburia give us some character. The Raiburia I mentioned in my presentation, she was also recognized by the amazing a huge mask, and it's a showing the protagonist that she was wearing this mask, and the heavenly spirit enter in his body, and that's why she was doing the Gavri performance. So that is actually the mask play as a symbolize as a spirituality, not only as a folk art, but the spirituality are also there, right?
Okay, thank you, thanks.
Yeah, these
Thank you.
papers are so good, and what I'm trying to say, CFSR is also interested in publishing much more material. So you people should work like Soban is more concentrating on the folkloresqueness in that railway station. Pratyusha is concentrating on the festivities and celebrations and processions, etc. Preeti Das is bringing into the gender concern and beautiful way of looking at it. So it's in a, I'm not missing. Manishta is bringing some kind of much more detailing into more detailing, not only hanging on to secondary, but more detailing into the inscriptions, etc., etc. Then it will be wonderful papers. You people should work. CFSR, not CFCS, CFSR is definitely looking for much better papers, and they will definitely publish. They have we ambitiously have a book projects which is on the pipeline. So this will become another book project. Thank you so much. Okay, CFCS will be always there. Okay. Okay, so
Hi, Pritha. Yeah, I just wanted to say congratulations to everyone who has presented. It was so nice. Like all the presenters have like spoken so confidently. I was like quite envious for 1 second that perhaps even I could get even 1% of that confidence. And so I especially wanted to ask Pritha. Pritha, can you hear me? Yeah, just I would ask if you don't have any problem, can you just send me your PPT to my mail, because I really like how you interpreted
this is trading. This
Behula's
is
story.
trading. This is
Yes.
trading. Trading is not allowed.
So
Okay.
because
Yeah.
because
There is
I'm
no
also
trading in the knowledge making. There is no trading. It's all open. We are
so
all
this is not
living in
trading, this
a.
is knowledge exchange. So this is
Okay.
exchange. So I really liked how you talked about Behula and all the female narratives and all those, because I'm also working on narratives and I found it quite fascinating. So if you don't mind, please can you please share your PPT with me? Of course, if I use it, I will give you due credit. Like, so that's what I wanted to say. Yeah, all right. And I really loved Gauri's presentation on Kerala, and because I don't have much idea on it, but it was very beautiful, very well presented, and all the other presenters, Ms. Dr. Pratyusha and Sobhan, wow, very well done, very well done. And I think there are a few others I'm missing the names. So please do, if you do finish
Thank you.
writing your full paper, please do send to publish it so that we can all read it. And congratulations, and we hope that we can see more of you.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think Gauri is also in Hyderabad, so sometimes step in. We are
Yeah, I think you can come and visit our
less people
department.
traveling
Yes,
to
you can
this
definitely
center, so
come
you're
and
always welcome.
visit.
Yes. Thank you so much. I think Nijil will wind it up. Tomorrow we have a long day. Rusha has to go and pick
So okay, we can wind up.
because she has.
Knowing Dubai is ready for the vote of thanks.
No. I am not. Sir,
I will say
I'm
out of
really
You're
not
already
thanks.
ready
done,
for
yeah.
this.
I will say
You're
out of
already
thanks.
done,
No
yeah.
problem. I will say out of thanks. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Yes.
Intaj and team. Thank you, Rusha. Thank you, our Dean ma'am, because I just got really embarrassed because I was really thinking that less number of people will be there. So I really was ashamed to call her, but she her gregariousness made her to come in and inaugurate it. I'm so thank you. If you are in Hyderabad, we do have wonderful sessions. We have a wonderful exhibition going on. There is amazing work. They are all getting displayed now. From tomorrow onwards, we are starting it. Please do share with your own friends. Let's have more people and let's encourage more youngsters. So we are giving much priority to the youngsters. Thank you so much. Thank you for the day. The day is done. Everybody have a cup of tea or a coffee, and bill is on me. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, everyone. Please join us for tomorrow's sessions. Okay, thank you. Have a good evening.
Thanks.